Welcome to Sir Betterment, where we bring you financial, motivating, and betterment knowledge. In this video, we'll talk about the bankrupt child that created Rolls-Royce. So without further ado, let's get into it. From growing up in poverty to making the most expensive cars in the world, Rolls-Royce is a living testament that you can go from nothing to something. So the question is, how did Henry Royce create a multi-million company with only 20 pounds? Before we get into the details, let's find out who Henry Royce is. Henry Royce was born in Awelton in 1863. The youngest of 5 children to James Royce and Mary Royce. His parents owned a grain mill they had leased from the ecclesiastical commissioners, but the company did not fare well, so they relocated to London. Royce's father died when he was just 9 years old, so he was forced to work for his family by carrying telegrams and selling newspapers. Despite his best efforts, Henry's mother was still in debt and realized she could no longer support her children. Therefore, she sent Henry to live with a senior couple, but things still didn't go well for him. Henry often had a slice of milk-soaked bread to eat, so malnutrition and his early exposure to hard work likely contributed to his health issues. When he reached 15, he had barely made it through one academic year. So out of pity and love for Henry, his aunt tried to support his education by providing him with the minimal fees required to enroll in the Great Northern Railway Company's apprenticeship program. Yet, after 3 years, he was forced to leave due to a lack of funding. He worked briefly for a Leeds tool manufacturing firm before moving on to London's Electric Light and Power Company. He enrolled in electrical engineering classes at the City and Guilds Institute using the money he had saved from his many jobs. Finally, at the age of 19, he was hired as the chief electrician for the Maxim Weston Electric firm, which was the greatest job he ever had at the time. And when everything seemed like going smoothly, the business collapsed in 1884, and Henry found himself jobless once again. No matter how hard he tried, it felt like life would creep up and smack him in the head. But this time, Henry decided to launch his own business rather than look for a new job. Naturally, he knew he needed assistance, so he tried to get his co-workers to join him. In 1884, Royce founded a company named F.H. Royce and Company with his friend Ernest Claremont. They first produced residential electric fittings, and by 1894, they started to produce dynamos and electric cranes. Around the same time, Royce's interest in automobiles developed, and he decided to modify a 1901 two-cylinder vehicle. As time passed, he began constructing automobiles independently. 1 car, 2 cars, and finally, 3 cars by 1904. The first car was for himself, the second was handed to his business partner Ernest. But the third car was sold to a man who was so impressed with the vehicle that he introduced Henry to Charles Rolls, a car dealer. When Charles Rolls first met Henry Royce, none of them could have foreseen the path they would pursue together. Charles Rolls and Henry Royce. A stockholder in Royce's business and a close friend of Rolls, Henry Edmonds, was bragging to him about his brand new 10-horsepower Royce car. At the time, Rolls was frustrated at only being able to sell imports, so Edmonds arranged a meeting with the man behind the 10-horsepower vehicle. Little did Edmonds know that the meeting he arranged would profoundly alter the future of automobiles. It was in Manchester on May 4, 1904 when Rolls and Royce first met. When Rolls first saw Royce's twin-cylinder 10-horsepower, he knew he had found what he was looking for. After test driving the vehicle, Rolls instantly offered to sell as many Rolls-Royce cars as Royce could produce. Building a brand needs vision. Thus, Claude Johnson, a partner of Rolls, took on the position of managing director and built the reputation of the new firm. Claude Johnson, a prodigy in public relations, was essential to the success of the business that he earned the nickname the hyphen in Rolls-Royce. One of Johnson's first advertisements for the 40 or 50 horsepower automobile marketed it as the six-cylinder Rolls-Royce, not one of the greatest, but the best automobile in the world. Right then and there, he coined the phrase that would come to represent Rolls-Royce until today. Johnson made a wise choice in planning a series of PR gimmicks to highlight the reliability and quietness of Rolls-Royce automobiles. This showcased their top-notch performance and brought attention to their innovative engineering worldwide. And what happened after that is history. Aircrafts. Rolls was a pioneer aviator. He first met the Wright brothers in 1906, and Wilbur Wright accompanied him on his first flight in 1908. Although Rolls-Royce had already made its mark in the automotive industry, he failed to convince Henry Royce to start manufacturing aero engines. Henry said that he would rather concentrate on making automobiles. Nonetheless, as Rolls-Royce grew, Charles had more time to devote himself to flying. In fact, he resigned from his role as technical director to focus on his love for aircraft. Charles said he preferred flying over driving since there are no policemen in the air. Charles purchased his own Wright Flyer in 1909, and a year later he made history by being the first person to make a non-stop flight over the English Channel and back. The media hailed him as the greatest hero of the day. Unfortunately, that wasn't Charles's only record. While Charles was flying at an air show on a very windy day, the plane started to collapse as he attempted to land. In 1910, Charles Rolls became the first British citizen to lose his life in a flying accident. Henry Royce's health started to deteriorate within a year after the death of his business partner, and the doctors only gave him a few months to live. But he didn't want to leave the world without any legacy. He would therefore live for almost another 20 years. Even after surgery, he insisted on reviewing and approving all new manufacturing designs, which was a major challenge for his engineers given his well-known perfectionism. World War I broke out after 4 years of his friend and business partner's death. Henry was forced into making airplane engines even though he had consistently refused to do so for many years. During the war, the British military deployed the Rolls-Royce Eagle, the company's first aircraft engine, providing half of the total horsepower for all Allied planes. The legend. By 1921, there was a 3-year backlog in orders for Rolls-Royce vehicles, so the business built a new factory in Springfield, Massachusetts, to deal with the demand. They manufactured 2,944 automobiles in under 10 years. While it doesn't sound like much, it's because Rolls-Royce takes great pride in building the best cars possible, even if it takes a lot longer than other car companies. The same still holds true today. One car may take up to 6 months to construct since everything is still manufactured by hand. Henry Royce received the Order of the British Empire in 1930 and was knighted, becoming a baronet. He passed away at the age of 70. Just 3 years later, sickness or old age won't stop Henry from fulfilling his responsibilities for his company. And with his dying breath, he created his last sketches. He drew a design of an adjustable shock absorber on the back of an envelope the evening before he passed away and requested his nurse to send it to the factory employees who would be making his idea. Unfortunately, he passed away before the letter could be sent. It's clear that both Rolls and Royce left a mark on the world that will last forever. Even after they passed away, Rolls-Royce kept producing cars, and the brand is still associated with luxury today. From 20 pounds to a 70 billion pound company, Henry Royce is undoubtedly a legend that made his mark in history. This concludes our video about how a simple man from nothing achieved his dream with enough hard work and determination. Let us know in the comment section if this story inspired you. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give us a like. Also, click the subscribe button and notification bell for more videos like this. See you at the next one.